Kenyan Navy was inaugurated in 1964 by the late President, His Excellency Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. And from there, he got some ships donation from Britain. The first one came was Nyati. And there also, he was seconded with the Royal Navy Training Team, which now became the seed to train the Navy young people. From there, it grew up under the leadership of the British Royal Navy officer up to the 1972 is when the first Kenyan officer became the first commander. But in 1966, we got another bunch of ships. This was 66 Squadron, the Simba, then we got the Chui, and they were all named after animal, another 4 sets of ships. And these are the ships or platforms which were used to train the young Navy then to up to 1976. Then we got a new ones, the Mamba class. That was Mamba, Jamhuri, Madaraka, Arambi. They came in. And then in 1976, we saw another leap up to 86 when we had the Nyayo class. That was Nyayo ship and Umoja. And these were missile boats together with the guns. And those one grew the Navy tremendously. By 1993, we got the logistic ships, 2 of them, that is Tana and Galana, to help to carry logistics, to carry our sister services, and also to serve at sea. Then 1996-97, we got 2 more offshore patrol vessels, slightly bigger than the Nyayo class, and these were mainly guns ships. And then we also got now, about 9 years from there, we got Jasiri, which came into service at 2012.
Most of the militaries, particularly the Navy, have been trained to fight what we call symmetrical warfare. But when you look at the Navy, the way it was designed right from the beginning, is that we run 2 roles. We operate as a Navy and equally carry out what we call Coast Guard duties. We police our waters. And as such, you find that our primary role is to safeguard the country against seaborne aggression. But you find when it comes to secondary roles, then what you're talking about, issues of piracy, contraband issues, we also get into it.
Kenyan Navy base Mtongwe is a logistics base, and our main mission is to provide logistics support to the Kenyan Navy fleet and other friendly forces operating in our area of responsibility, both at times of war and at peacetime. Kenyan Navy base Mtongwe is the oldest establishment in the Navy. So when you talk about the Navy, you must talk about Kenyan Navy base Mtongwe.
From this diagram, we have Kenyan Navy responsibility. From 0 to 12 nautical miles, we have our territorial waters. Territorial waters, it means that the Kenyan laws apply. It's part of Kenyan territory.
The training of the Navy guys remained basically abroad up to around 1988 there is when especially officers and specialized training of the technical, even supply part, is now when we realize now we need to be self-sufficient, and we came up with something called Jitengeme, So that way we started a naval training school fully. And we started training even officers locally.
The school currently runs 7 officers courses and just about 20 ratings courses. So, but it is the point of entry for all personnel into the Navy.
Attack imminent, attack imminent. Brace, brace, brace. Ship hit on starboard side. Ship hit on starboard side. Conduct a blanket search.
Our instructors, before of course they come to train here, are all trained in the various schools around the world. They'll have trained in India, in the UK, in the US. So we get very good quality instructors, and that of course reflects now in the quality of the products that we get out of the school here.
I joined the Navy in the year 2001. I got trained as an electrician, and after I completed my training, I worked in different capacities as an electrician.
This is a Kenyan Navy ship Umoja. It's a fast attack craft. These crew members are well trained. Everybody is versed with this field or our field. So just to ensure that there are occasional career courses which are carried outside this ship. So they attend these courses ashore.
KNS Jasiri, first of all, is the flagship of the Navy. It is designed to undertake multi-roles. That is, first of all, it's supposed to undertake anti-surface warfare roles. It is supposed to undertake anti-air warfare roles. It can also be engaged in special operations in inserting special forces from sea to land. The ship can also be deployed to provide naval gunfire support to land forces operating close to sea. And we can also provide shore bombardment on strategic, selected sites from sea to land.
The Al-Shabaab basically is the enemy that Kenya is fighting right from the time Linda Inchi started and transforming into AMISOM operations. Al-Shabaab per se is not a maritime force. They have no capability, not much anyway. During Operation Sledgehammer, we supported with the pinpoint gunfire support. We have our big guns, which we are able to engage the enemy from afar at sea, so he wouldn't know even what hit him.
COT coming. 76mm policy surface bombardment. Elevation 40. Gun set to remote. Gun set to remote. Roger, I now have the gun control.
During operation, we had to carry on board the land forces so that we could land them on the beaches of Kismayo. Again, we also had divers to clear the beach, and boats that would do the protection of the port of Kismayu once we landed there. We have dealt with Al-Shabaab whenever he presents themselves at sea, and they know that they are not a match at all, and therefore our presence there really discourages them from venturing into the sea.
What you see out there is the product of what was taught here. It means this, the training is effective. It means that the training is up to date, because those operations that are not done by just about anybody. I mean, it's very rare. It is the first African amphibious landing, and it was conducted by the Kenyan Navy. So we are of course very proud of that.
Kitu ambayo inanifanya nifurahie kazi yangu ni vile tulipatiwa jukumu la kwenda Kismayu. Tukawa na uwezo wa kujitayarisha, tukasafirisha grupu ya Kenyami pamoja na magari pamoja, na tukajiandaa, tukaingia Kismayu bila matatizo yoyote, ambayo tulipambana na wao, lakini wao tuliwalemea.
We are well equipped. We have been well resourced to be able to sufficiently provide maritime security.
Kenyan Navy Base Mtongwe, the sick bay here, is a fully fledged hospital. It caters for all aspects of medical care. We have a running maternity, we have a lab, we have a pharmacy that provides medicine for the patients. We have a theater, which we are able to do a number of procedures here without having to send elsewhere. This hospital caters for both the service personnel and their dependents, which is basically the nuclear family, your wife and your children, or your husband and your children. It's part of the welfare system for our personnel. We also have a recompression chamber at our base, and it caters to our divers and in case of any complications.
The decompression chamber is the only one we have in Central and East Africa, and it's used for treating various diving-related diseases.
It also will cater to civilian personnel. So if there are people who have had a diving incident and it's suspected to have a decompression syndrome, then they can be recompressed in our chamber.
The families, this is a bedrock of the sail at sea, because they take care of the families, they take care of our children. And then the Navy has got a very large population of children. We have 2 nursery schools in the compound, and 1 primary school and a secondary school, which is armed forces altogether. So the families are taken care by our spouses when we are at sea, and I really treasure the families.
We are celebrating the 50 years having taken part in an operation which was successful. So to me, we're celebrating it for the successes achieved over the 50 years.
The Kenyan territorial waters, the Kenyan maritime zones are safe. With the Kenyan Navy, the way she's configured, we are able to meet any challenge to defend what is ours.
Asanteni sana for keeping the Kenyan Navy afloat for those 50 years, for making sure you pay tax